これの得意技がさ、梨汁ブシャーっていうやつなんだけど、なんかこれ放送禁止じゃないか。
Welcome to the Lazy Fluency podcast, where we have casual conversations switching between English and Japanese so that you can learn from and with us along the way. I'm Joey.
And I'm Yami.
And the topic of the day is Mascots of Japan. Before we get into that, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and or drop a review whatever platform you're listening on. We appreciate the support. And with that out of the way, Mascots of Japan. Did you know every prefecture of Japan has a mascot? Today we're going to talk about it. We previously had an episode that was similar to this, sort of, where we talked about the stereotypes of different prefectures in Japan. This is kind of the mascot version of that. I mean, how familiar do you think you are with the different prefectures, or the mascots of the prefectures in Japan?
まあある程度有名どころは知ってるよ。なんかまあ何個かあって、くまモンとか結構有名だよね。熊本のくまモンっていうのとか、あと千葉県の千葉くんとか、まあもね、なんて言うんだろう、ゆるキャラのコンテストで勝ったやつは見たことあるかもしれないけど、さすがになんて言うんだろうね、それぞれの街でもいろいろマスコットキャラクターがあるんだけど、細かいとこまで行くとマジでわかんないけどね。そう。
Well, so I find it interesting, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what reason, like states in the US or prefectures in Japan or many states around the world have their own various like state flower, state food. Part of me wants to think it has to, like, there's maybe merchandising, like all of them have to do with a sort of merchandising. But to me, it's most obvious, I guess, when it comes to mascots, because as far as I know, the only reason these even exist, because they're not that old. I don't think any of these are that old, right? Are they all in the 20th century? Do you know, like all these mascots? I feel like they're all like really recent inventions. Is they're all made to basically reinvigorate different prefectures. And before we get into any specific ones, do you think people have loyalty around there? For example, like I'm from Idaho, and everybody knows Idaho loves potatoes, and there's a potato on the state license for Idaho when you're driving a car. And I also do love potatoes. This is a whole separate thing, and I don't know if that's because I'm an Idahoan or I separately love potatoes. And I've developed that because and people also tell me that Idaho is known for potatoes. Even Japanese people I've met before, if they know anything about Idaho, it's that they love potatoes. Do you think that mascots have that? Yeah. Well, yeah. There's also that too from what's it called? Mosabaga, the Idaho burger. But do people share that same sense of like tie with their mascots from given prefectures?
まあね、なんて言うんだろう。一部はあるかもしれない。例えばさ、まあ、さっきも言ったけど、ゆるキャラコンテストとかで、まあ、トップに入って、それで有名になるとさ、どこどこの街ね、みたいな。で、それがより、なんて言うんだろう。あんまり有名じゃない街とかだとさ、マスコットで有名になるからさ、それがシンボルになるわけよ。そうそう。例えば、なんだろうね。
Go ahead.
なんだろう。なんだっけ。ひこにゃんだっけな。あれひこにゃんって姫路城かな。ちょっとごめん、間違えたらあれだけど、なんか、お城の形のがなんか、頭についてたりとか、いろいろそういうのが結構いるわけよ。それが、なんて言うんだろう。そのところの名所みたいななってる、観光地みたいになってるから、あそこの、キャラクターのところね、みたいななるわ。うん。
Well, I want to hit you, I guess, so I have a link to all of them, but now you just made me something I kind of want to test you on. Or there's ones that I thought were the most interesting and made me laugh. And I actually might want to do a whole breakdown in specific on the main channel at some point on some of these. But do you know, this one's really a giant nose. So there's one that has a giant nose, and it's walking around with like a luggage suitcase, and it has cherries on its hat. Are you familiar with this mascot?
これ見ていいの?
Well, I'm just wondering beforehand. Does that sound familiar to you? You mentioned the samurai. That's Miyagi, by the way.
他にもいるんだよ、侍っぽいのは。これ、
yeah, I mean, in my opinion, that's the coolest one. Yeah, no, full. Yeah, I mean, you can open it. But I was
今
wanting
見ち
to
ゃったん
quiz
だ
you.
けどさ、まあ山形だよね。そう。山形の
Yeah.
さ、これ山形県のさ、形なんだよ。わかる。
Oh.
こういう
Yeah.
形で
So
横側っぽくなるから、で、さくらんぼが有名なのね。
okay, so there's what is it, Minnesota? I mean, a lot of states have that where they're like the Idaho's considered the panhandle because it looks like you're holding onto like it looks like a pan with a
あ、
handle as
そうな
well
の。
at the end of it.
全
But
然
this
特
one
徴ないじゃん。
seems well, I mean, looking like a big-nosed man or whatever, I don't think is the most humbling description of your prefecture. But I think it's hilarious. It made me laugh. Had you seen this one before for Yamagata?
いや、見たことないな、これは見たことないけど、でもこれで何の県ですかって言われたら確実にわかる。なんかクイズとか出されて、これ何県ですかって言われたら。
You knew Yamagata. You knew big-nosed man with suitcase and sakurambo.
いや、わかる。だってこれが形っていうのもわかるし、あとさくらんぼが有名だからわかる。
Okay, that actually, I'm very surprised. What are the ones that are the most? So, you know what? Okay, I'm going to tell you which ones are my favorite. And then I want to get your impression from you. Is this one that actually people care about? So the one after this, that caught my eye was Saitama. Saitama, very progressive. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but Saitama is a rainbow barrel holding a cinema director's, what is it? The things that they do the action and cut with in its hand.
いや、これ違う。これじゃない。埼玉県はね、埼玉県の
This one's lying to me? This site's lying to me?
違うやつ。ちょっと待ってね。これは違うよ。これは期間限定の何かだよ。
So this was only a specialty one?
そう。なんかのイベントのためのやつって書いてあるじゃん。それ。あ、そうそう。埼玉県コバトンだよ。コバトン。
コバトン。I'll look it up. But
コバトンっていう
what is コバトン？
そのなんか鳩なのかな鳥まあちょっと調べてみてください。
Oh yeah. I actually love this one as well. This is great. Yeah, it's like I would say a confused bird who has milk. In a lot of the pictures he has milk, the bird has milk with it. And it's like a light purpley color. I give that one my thumbs up. And obviously, yeah, everybody, this is like a podcast, so people won't know. But just imagine in your head what this could be like. You can obviously look it up later, but I think it'll be more enjoyable if you can just use your mind's eye to imagine. Hold up. What is going on with Chiba? Chiba, we have a copyright infringement here.
本当だ。そう、千葉のね、私ね、あれで、チーバくんってあるじゃん。
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
これね、千葉の形になってんの、これ。
Okay. For those at home, if you guys are familiar with Clifford the Big Red Dog, Clifford the Big Red Dog is a children's story about a large red dog who I think people give him shit because, I don't know, the dog's too large, but the dog's very nice and helps people out. And I think helps people with like fires or something, pulls them from the tops of buildings. And yeah, basically Chiba-kun just stole Clifford, but made the silhouette of Clifford the shape of a prefecture.
Mm.
Do you know Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Clifford the Bigger Dog.
You should just look up Clifford. Maybe it's some other time, but it is literally the same thing. The same color palette, the same big black nose. Yes.
これ何？真似してるってこと？
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have a copyright problem right now. No, but seriously, it looks. I mean, maybe you could look at. But hold up, I'm gonna tell you the ones. Okay, so Saitama, I was tricked. I would say that I like the barrel more than I like the bird. The bird is kind of funny.
似てるねけどちょっと違うよ。
Yeah, well, ちょっと違う is the fact that the dog or the one for Chiba looks like something's wrong with it. It has like an indent in its head.
ちょっと似てるね。ちょっとこれは似てるかもしれない。ちょっとこれはすいませんが似てますね。
That's like making a Mickey Mouse prefecture as your mascot. That's blatantly.
ちょっとこれはね、グレーゾーンですね、これは。
What if Clifford? I can figure this out later, but maybe Clifford stole from Chiba Ken.
いや、それはないでしょ。だって千葉の方が後でしょ。 さすがに。
Yeah, probably. Okay,
だっ
hold
て
up.
クリフォー
I
ド、
took.
まあいいや。はい。
I'm assuming it's longer, but okay. Well, where's I noted? Was it? I noted in my head. Was it Shizuoka? Where's Shizuoka? Uh, I
静岡
remember
いっぱいあ
liking
る。
Shizuoka.
いっぱいあるっていうか、
Oh,
ここに載ってるの
I
はいっ
like
ぱ
the
いある。
bottom right. The bottom right.
ああ、ナマズのやつ。ナマズ仙人みたいな
Yeah,
や
yeah,
つがあっ
yeah.
て。
So namazu, which is like a famous. What is it? Like a fish that makes earthquakes?
ナマズ。
Isn't this fish famous for like making earthquakes?
earthquakes を作んの？
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The namazu. I used to have a folder that had this giant picture of it. It's a sick, really cool. This fish is a different color, and I think there's a Pokemon based around it. But it's basically
地震？
so big. Yeah, it's so big that its movements, like in the water movements, basically create an earthquake.
いや、そんなでかくないでしょ。クジラかよ。
Wait, what? Wait, hold up. Those are its feet? It has feet. Oh no, that's terrible. Oh no, it has feet. The fish has feet.
足がさ、
He's like chicken feet.
足が直角にさ、なんかさ、こうなってるよね。ちょっと。
This one's hilarious
ちょっ
though.
とブサイク。
Have you seen this one before? Have you seen this
い
one
や、
for
見たことない
Shizuoka?
これ。静岡
That
は
one's
ね、
so
ちょっと見
funny.
たことない。
It's like a fish with like whiskers, and then it has chicken feet, and then a big N on it. But then it has these very big pink like lips. It's kind of hilarious. And then this other one. What about the one that? What about the one in the upper right corner? That one also looks hilarious.
かわいいね。
Well, it looks like it's like a
これ高
bear.
校じゃん。高校のゆるキャラって書いてある。
アピールと地域交換のキャラクター。
地域貢献。うん。
Oh, okay. So this is, I don't know, what is it for people to help fund various projects in Shizuoka or something?
静岡の違う浜松北高等学校って書いてある。なんか
Why do they get their own mascot?
I don't know. なんかあるんじゃ
That's
な
too
い？
specific. It is hilarious though. It's like a bear with like puckered lips who looks kind of sad, and he has like a red like salaryman tie. It basically looks like he's being overworked, but he's getting paid for it, and if he doesn't do it, his family might get killed. So that's kind of the face he's doing right now.
なんかね、マスコットさ、すごいなんかまあ話変わんないけど、マスコットのいいところってさ、そういうなんて言うんだろう。マスコットが来ますっていうイベントが例えばショッピングモールとかであるじゃん。そうやるとさ。
Well, actually, I have no clue about this. Wait, what? Wait, hold up. So great. There are events where mascots come, like football, like mascots.
まあだからなんていうの、サッカーのまあ試合とかさ、まあわかんないけど、まあなんかの試合とかだったり、ショッピングモールにこういうイベントありますっつって、例えばまあくまモンが来ますとかってあると、
Oh, it's like Disneyland.
そうだよ。なんかもうミッキーみたいな感じで、ちっちゃい子とかさ、家族連れの人が結構来るんだよ。で、そこでさ、なんだろう。いろんなグッズあるから、それをまあ買ったり、一緒に写真撮影したりとか、あと、なんて言うんだろう。やっぱりいろんな県とかが、可愛いマスコットいるから、それがなんか、一つの場所に集結して集まってこういうイベントがあって全国ゆるキャラなんとか展みたいなそこで
全国 that sounds terrifying. Wait, all of them come
全員じゃない
together?
けどなんか有名どころとか来るとさいろんな国じゃねいろんな県から来るからさ、それがもうなんていうんだろうその県とかその市の、財政を、まあ、活性化させるっていうか、その町をの資源になるからさ。やっぱいいんじゃないこういうキャラクターは。まあ本当にディズニーキャラクターみたいな感じ。
Do they talk? Have you been to any of these before? In person, like these mascot gatherings?
大体は喋らないんだけど、まあ私喋る一つのマスコットキャラ知ってるんだけど、それはなんていうんだ、こういうの公式なのね、オフィシャルのゆるキャラなんだけど、there was か、なんていうんだろう、unofficial のなんか非公式のフナッシーっていうキャラクターがいたの。フナッシー。
Is that like a cockroach?
梨なんだけど。 ね、ちょっとまあ調べたら皆さん調べて、ふなっしーっていうやつがいて、それは勝手になんか、船橋市の、ある人が中に入ってんのね。それで、結構なんかジャンプしたりとか、なんかすごい喋ったりとか、すごい高い声で喋るのね。それがなんか、めちゃめちゃ面白くて、何年前だっけな ?5 年とか、10年前、結構前になんか、それで有名になって、テレビに結構出てたんだよ。なんか芸人みたいな、コメディアン
This sounds extremely so I think there's a second time mentioning this, but there's a show that just ended called Oshinoko, where there's a bit about a YouTuber who's really popular called Piman, who basically has a mascot head on top of over his head, and he speaks in a very high voice. He goes, Piman! And he says, Minna gambaro! Or something, and he like speaks like that, and he has a mascot thing over his head. He might, is he based off of this? This is very recent, so maybe he's this mascot you're talking about, Funabashi?
そう、船橋のね、ふなっしーって言うんだけどね、結構もうバラエティ番組とかに引っ張りだこだってよ。すごいもうマジでコメディアンみたいな、芸人みたいな感じ。
Wait, there's Funashi Dando, apparently.
ふなっしーってやつ。
Oh yeah, no, I saw. There's Funashi Dando. I saw it came up.
そう、ふなっしーってやつが。これね、
wait, hold up. For some reason, I have the picture that this is does a guy voice this thing? Does a guy voice Funashi?
Boy. What?
Oh, it's like a boy? No, I'm saying like when you said it's talking, right? Because I'm looking at the memes.
中に入ってて、その中の人多分男の人なんだけど。
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this thing looks. Oh my god.
これ全部手作りなんだよ。全部一人で手作りしてそれが本当に結構一時期すんごいいたよね。だからさ、そういう公式のゆるキャラじゃないからさ、なんかその収入とかは全部一人で自分とこ組んだよ。
What was it supposed to advertise? The Funashi? Like
わかんない。船橋市はね、確か千葉県かな。うん。
Nashi no Yose, a pear spirit.
So Funashi is a fictional Japanese mascot character, and officially representing the city of Funabashi, Chiba. So it was created by a citizen of Funabashi with the objective of cheering up local residents and helping promote her hometown. Her だったの。
That's sick.
His だと思ってた。そうそう。これね。
It actually does look. It looks pretty cute, but it also looks terrifying at the same time. It kind of has. There's something that has been famous over in the West, which is an expression called ahegao, which is what when women make almost faces where their eyes are going up in their mouth, almost in like an orgasmic way, and it kind of has that, but in an innocent way. And then it also kind of looks. It also maybe just the memes. There's a lot of memes I'm looking at on Google Images which make Funabashi seem very intense.
だってそうこの人2012年の春だって結構前だ。そう10年前じゃん。これなんか
2012年。
12年。
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
だから
12年。
これの得意技がさ、梨汁ブシャーっていうやつなんだけど。なんかこれ梨
汁ぶっしゃ So it go around at people and like squirt pear juice on them?
squirt なんかわかんないけど
What is the ぶっしゃ What other way? Oh my gosh.
まあいろいろな捉え方があります。
He has an ahegao face and he goes and just does bukkake on everybody as he goes.
これがまあ一つのなんていうのゲイっていうのゲイってそのゲイの方のゲイじゃなくて一ゲイ
Like art?Or like
as in 得意技みたいなゲーっていうんだけど。
Yeah, 得意技。Yeah, exactly. An attack.
そういうのでテレビで結構披露してたりしてたんだよ。そう。
I mean, that's hilarious.
面白いよね。そう。
I mean, I was going to mention before the Funabashi conversation that the two that scare me the most. I mean, one, I think they're both very funny, but Nagano's and Kumamoto both have the extremely terrifying mascots.That have like I will kill you eyes. I think Nagano. Yeah, look at Nagano. It's like a bear. Both of them are bears. So I don't know if I have something against bears or just the way Japanese bears are depicted. But it's a bear with an apple for a hat, and it has these like deadpan like fish eyes, and it's looking off to the side and It's walking forward, but like sideways, and then its eyes.
あ、違う。こんな感じか。
Yeah, no, it's oh yeah, yeah, sort of like that, and so something about it looks very off. Yeah, and then Kumamoto. Let me bring up Kumamoto. Is so scary.
じゃあくまモンマジで違う。くまモン一番有名ではないゆるキャラで。
Kumamon.
くまモン
Yeah, no, he won the award.
知らない人。
and I think Kumamon, Kumamon from Kumamoto is he's definitely the most iconic, but holy cow, like Kumamon has like death eyes. So Kumamon is a bear standing with both arms at its side, looking directly towards the camera, and he has these very small black beady eyes, and then these huge red cheeks, and an open mouth, and just like, and it looks like he's seen things. Does like I would not want to take a picture with Kumamon. Well, have you met any of your, like, I'm not sure what the question previous, but have you met any, like, have you taken pictures with any mascots? Because it's like Disney characters. Do you have any pictures from like when you were younger?
いや、それがさ、あれなんだよ。ゆるキャラがさ、流行ったのが、それこそ、10何年とかじゃん。もうその時にはもうそんなさ、ちっちゃい子じゃないからわし、もう、だって中学とかでしょ？そんななんか、ミッキー大好きとかっていう年じゃないからさ。なんだろう、そんな撮りたいとかなかったかな。それか私がグレてるだけ。
I'm just saying that I kind of want, like, you know what I'm saying, I talked about this once before, but getting all the mascots together to compete. I think last time I mentioned this is I was saying I wanted them to fight over for Japan in an anime style, but it'd be very fun if they had like gosh, this would be painful for the people inside the suits, but they have different like mascot characters, and they make them do like the old school Japanese game show style like obstacle courses.
例えば?
You know what I'm saying? So for example, like Kumamoto and the cheetah or whatever from Chiba, or I don't remember what the name of that one was. They'd have to do a race inside their costumes.
あ、そう、やってる。
Oh, they do it?
うん。
Oh, poor people.
そうなんだ
The
よ。
poor people inside
ゆるキャラのね、なんかね、コンテストがあって、確かね、なんか一芸とかやるんだと思う、確か。
Is it what'd you say? The Yamana, no, is it Nashi something?
ふなっし
No, the trick for the Nashi dude.
あ、なし汁ぶしゃあれはさ、あれはアンフィシャルだからなんだ。
What's Kumamon's? It's like 人食べる技?
いや、わかんないけど、確かね、ゆるキャラグランプリっていうのが、まあ、なんか、毎年やってんのかな。そこでなんか1位とか決めんだけど、それはね、なんだろう。なんて言うんだろう。得意技とかで、いや、決めないか。でも多分、レースするやつとかも確かあったんだよ。
And you could like watch it and like have your prefect. That would be hype. Like cheering on like one side of this. One side of the stadium, it's like in football. I think I told you the one time I went to a football game, and I didn't realize how into football Americans were as an American, because I wasn't really into football. And I walked in and I went up to the side of the bleachers that I just happened to walk in through. And then I sit down and then realize every other person in the entire set of bleachers was wearing a shirt that in combination made the name of their team or their logo of their team if you looked at it from a distance. So they all this big coordinated, like this was one piece of the shirt and everybody had this thing on, and then there was just me, and I was like, and then somebody came to me, and then like I think I had some like merchandise for like one of the teams that was on like the one that was like not for the other team, and then everybody just stared at me, and I was like, oh god, what have I done? And then I quickly just walked back in and changed sides. And so when I'm imagining like the Kumamon versus Cheetah, it's like I imagine one side of the bleachers of a stadium all having the Clifford the Big Red Dog like hats, and then on the other side you have a bunch of people wearing like Kumamon masks.
いやそこまでファンが熱狂かどうかわかんないけど、まあ少なくともあるよね。そのコンペティション、なんていうの、ゆるキャラコンテストっていうのは、ある。
What's your favorite ゆるキャラ？
フェイブリットはなんだろうね。なんかさっきくまモン可愛いなと思ってたけど、さっき言われてからなんかくまモンがサイコパスにしか見えなくなってきてさ。ね。ダメだね、あれ。ちょっと良くないわ。まあでも、なんだっけ。佐野丸ってやつが確か可愛かったんだよ。佐野丸っていうのは、佐野丸どこだっけな？千葉だっけな？千葉かな？
It's not okay. Chiba does not the big red dog. Let me see. Chiba Sanomaru. Wait, is it not there? Is it one of these?
栃木だ、ごめん、間違えた。千葉じゃない。多分怒られるわ。栃木県の佐野市なんだけど。
Oh, okay. I mean,
これラーメン、佐野ラーメンっていうのが有名でね、その佐野市の。そのラーメンのなんか、なんて言うんだろう。お椀っていうの。お椀をなんかこうやってかぶってて、髪の毛がちょっとラーメンで、で、ちょっと。
This is ramen? How is this ramen? It looks like dango.
団子ではない。
栃木？
団子ではないけど。まあ、侍っぽい、ラーメン侍みたいな感じ。
Hold up, there's one more that I want to talk about because I just don't know what it is. What's, is it Kochi?
Kochi?
Yeah. I have no clue what I'm looking at. Is this a wave? It's like a weird thing like this with both of its hands up. And I think it's supposed to be like a tidal wave. But it also has scary energy.
黒潮くんか。なるほどね。これね。
黒潮 or you said
黒潮くん。黒潮くんって、この黒潮っていうのがね、高知県ってさ、四国にあるんだけど、四国ね、こうやって日本がこうやってやって四国にありますと。で、ここ、北海道から本州に向かってこうやって、寒流かな？寒流っていう、まあ、冷たい、まあ、対流みたいな。
水のね。
そう、current があって、で、下の南の方から、まあ、鹿児島とか九州の方からこう四国の方に暖流あったかい、まあ、流れとがあって
the warm current
そうでさ日本海あたりってそういうこう交わるのねあったかいのと冷たいのがそうするとさそこによくプランクトンとかさよくまあ栄養が豊富になるのよ。
Wait, so what is the mascots? Wait, all the science.
黒潮、そこ黒潮って言うんだけど、そこで、なんて言うんだろう。まあ、漁が盛んになる。漁ってなんて言うの？フィッシングが、しやすくなるのね。そのプランクトンがいっぱいいるから。
So wait, hold up. So this mascot is the embodiment of the warm and cold current location inside the... Dude, this is terrible marketing. What do people know what that is? I've never... God, this is like putting the white hole. You know what I'm saying? This is like having the white hole as your mascot.
多分あれじゃないこの足がさ、なんか寒流と暖流みたいな。わかんない。勝手なイメージだけど。足、まあ、手、わかんないけど。
What? Guys,
それが交わって
rule number one for
顔になりますみたいな。
They cannot be overly hyperly specific the scientific
わかんない。足
phenomenon.
の予想ね。実際はどうかわかんないけどね。そう。
But yeah, this has been a... if any of this interests you, yeah, I'll drop the link to all of the different prefectures.
Tell us what's your favorite.
yeah, tell us what's your favorite. Yeah, at some point I might actually make a deep dive into some of the history of this. I find this very interesting. But yeah. Oh wait, hold up. I have to mention this. The actual scariest one is Kyoto's Mayumaru. It has no mouth. It's just eyes. It's like an egg with eyes on top with no mouth. It reminds me of...
これ怖いね。なんかちょっと...
Yeah, I must scream, but I have no mouth or something.
あれみたい、ジブリのさ、千と千尋の神隠し、Spirited Away のさ、Spirited Away だっけ？
Yeah, Spirited Away.
そうの、なんか、いそうじゃない？
What? Yeah, but no, what is it though? Is it an egg? It is terrifying. Like it is just it's a white object, spherical object with no mouth and two eyes looking up at you like, please kill me. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so I'll drop the link. Yeah, let us know what's your favorite one. 戻りました。
We're back.
今回アニメの話をしよう。まずは、先週今期のアニメについての話ちょっとしたかもしれない。なんか実は思い出せない。でもとにかくその今期のアニメはめっちゃいい。ほとんどは続編だけど、少しだけ。
You always say that.
そうアニメになんかファンとしては生まれてよかったみたいな感じになってる、最近。今期だとブリーチ何でしたっけ、千年決戦編 Thousand Year Blood War という、ちょっとだけこのポッドキャストで話したことあると思うんだけど、つまり子供の頃からずっと見てきたブリーチ知ってますか？
Yeah, I know the name because you mentioned like so many times and then I had to remember.
その前になんか見たことない？そのナルトみたいな感じで、ナルト、ブリーチ、聞いたことないの？主人公はイチゴ？黒崎？
I don't know. I know One Piece.
ナルト知らないの？ナルト知ってる。
ナルト？
なんか、欧米だと、その One Piece、ナルト、ブリーチは全部 The Big Three という名が付けられたんだけど、The Big Three という、なんか少年ジャンプの一番大きなシリーズは The Big Three、Bleach, One Piece, Naruto。でもブリーチは知らないの？
Apparently I didn't know. Yeah.
日本ではそんなに有名じゃないってこと？
Well, like my home tutor student, like last year, she was a fan of Bleach. So
この新しいシーズンの、そう新しいシーズンのブリーチってこと？
I don't know.
昔から見てたってこと？
I guess she has been watching Bleach for a long time. I don't know. But yeah. We haven't talked about it like in the class, so I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I believe so.
そうつまりこの、今期のブリーチ、その昔からのブリーチと比べるとめっちゃなんか全部甘くなって、アニメーションも物語もでちょっとなんかグロくなった。前のブリーチは少しだけなんかグロいところがあったんだけど、ほとんどの場合だとそのなんか切られた人は血が出るんだけど実際死なないし、そのなんか手の部分とかは切られるけどなんか体から吹っ飛ばない。ただなんかみたいな感じ、なんかわかる？切られてでなんか倒れることなんだけど、今期のブリーチ、この新しいブリーチ、そうこの新しいブリーチに関してはみんなは毎回めっちゃ死んでいて、頭とかなんていうか真っ二つに切られるシーンもあって、でなんか脳はそうなんか落ちて、手とか足も切られて落ちて、それ全然違う印象に残る。
They didn't show the how do you say the 断面
the what's called cross section. So
but right now they show
そう全部そう全部
detail
見えちゃう。なんか欧米のなんかレーティングがあるんだけど、なんか rated R とか PG-13 は何でしたっけ、13歳以上なら見てもいい。多分なんか両親と一緒に見てもいいみたいな感じで、 R は18歳何でしたっけ、未成年と同等でにその18歳以上じゃないと、見れない、なんか映画だったら。でもブリーチはなんかその PG-13 から R になっちゃって感じ。でもめっちゃいい。で
okay.
ごめんね。もう一つのアニメの話したい。
Okay.
何 Is the 何
Is the storyline different?
そう。これは完成編の最後のブリーチの物語の英語で arc と言うんだけど、日本語でなんて言うの？なんか大きなチャプターみたいな感じ。
okay.
編という。 その決戦編、arc。で、そうそうそう、なんかブリーチの全部が終わる。なんかそれぞれのキャラクターのなんか個人的な物語と世界の物語も。
Is the final 何
そう。
like arc。
そう、ブリーチ。で、めっちゃ好き。今まで。で、その続編の、この決戦編の続編のパート2、今は。でも、今期の新しい続編じゃなくて、オリジナルなアニメは、100ゾン100、ゾンビになるまでにしたい100のこと。最初のエピソードを見て、めっちゃ、なんかびっくりした。このスタジオは、このアニメを作ってるスタジオは、これが初めて、この作品が。でも、めっちゃなんかいい。鬼滅の刃みたいな作動、その、なんていうか、うまくできてる、程度、度合いとか、それと同じような、そう、完成度。めっちゃなんか、これは、本当に新しいスタジオが作ってるって感じがした。なんか、UFO テーブルじゃなくて、それで、まあ、アニメを話したいことがあるんだけど、ぜひぜひ、そのアニメに興味持ってる人なら、ぜひぜひ、ブリーチ見れる人は見れるけど、もちろん元々のブリーチ、まだ見てない人はちょっとだけ、多分200エピソード以上見ないといけないから、残念ながら見れないと思うんだけど、でも、そのゾンビになるまでにしたい100のこと、The Bucket List of, it's called the Bucket List of the Dead。まだ見てない人は、ぜひ見てください。めっちゃ流行ると思う、これから。じゃあ、それはあゆみ、ジョイのアニメの話でした。あゆみは話したいことがある。
I will just talk about recent events. So right after this, I have this mock exams, which I have to take. And then right after that, I have to go back to my parents' house to bring a suitcase to my place for the exchange program in New York. And I have no time to prepare for that because next week I'll have OBGYN rotation for 2 weeks. And so in that department, I will have Saturday rotation too. So it will be like, so that my departure date will be the next day after I finish this semester's rotation.
So 終わってから次の日。
Yep. And also, after I arrive at the airport and then go to the hospital, next day will be the first day of the rotation there.
何でしたっけ？ピンからキリまでという表現があったんだけど。
ピンからキリまでじゃないよ。
何でしたっけ？わかんない。とりあえずめっちゃ忙しい。
いや。
で、OBGYN は、まあ、もちろん知らないけど、聞いた話だと、その一番、まあ、難しいというか、めっちゃ難しい、なんていうの？部？
専門家？一番か？
専門家。
そう、一番難しいか？
そう、か。
I mean, yeah,
どう？
both difficult and hard, right? Because like you can't expect.
たくさんある。
So when patients come and then so they are like rushing to give a birth, right? So yeah, so mostly
静かにしてください。
Yeah, not many people want to do OBGYN here in Japan, at least. So, yeah.
今までやったことある？これは初めて？
First time. First time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
その話をぜひぜひ聞かせてください。
Okay. Yeah, next week.
人は叫んでるか叫んでないか興味あるので。何してるからだ。なんかヤクザみたいな母、お母さん。じゃあ今週のたわいもの話でした。And we're back with the final section. And if you made it to the final section, that means you should leave a comment, question, language related and or otherwise, and send an email to lazyfluency@gmail.com. And this week's commenter or commentees, we have 3 I'm just going to respond to two because people had a very long comment, but this time I wanted to respond to all of it. And the first one is from somebody who's commented once before, I think, and it's their second time commenting, and it is Sheep Thief. And the comment is responding to our episode before the last one on language learning and hitting slumps. So this is the comment. That intro statement is a great way of explaining the Dunning-Kruger effect. Your increase in skill simultaneously makes you expect more of yourself, while also seeing more clearly how unskilled you are, resulting in a drop in confidence, and thus, on the surface, a drop in skill. This drop in apparent skill can correlate positively with how perceptive you are. So actually, the more clear you begin to perceive your unskilledness, the more pronounced your drop in confidence becomes. I think another thing is that people who have pushed through the Dunning-Kruger effect, in this case Japanese, inherently make the difficult things look easy, because they have practiced them to the point where they feel confident enough to put themselves in the open on the internet, like you two, which makes onlookers feel like they are too stupid/untalented to do the things that other people are doing so easily. The internet exacerbates this, because the people who are making videos and other stuff on a given topic are naturally going to be the ones who feel confident enough to do so. And this isn't even taking into account any intentional or subconscious flexing that people do, which can be discouraging. I think there are fields where talent/luck is required to push through this boundary. And in these cases, one must assess whether or not mastery of the given field is possible. But in most fields, most people failing is mostly emotional impatience, demoralization. Sort of similar to military engagements. For a person to give up, they just have to reach the point where they no longer have the morale to continue, which can be achieved far more easily than being actually /objectively defeated. And so if one recognizes the Dunning-Kruger effect is only a negative thing on the emotional level, while by every other metric being a sign of progress and improved ability /understanding/perspective, one can begin to push through it more serenely and even laugh at one's own ineptitude. I thought this was very well put, and thank you, Sheep Thief. I know that was a lot and very almost poetic, poetic at times. But I would say there's a very, I think, practical example. I think about the second part about this, which is basically people seeing other people doing something in Japanese, and that making them get a skewed idea as to what the average is or what the ability is. In my personal experience, I think, the internet probably does this to some extent, but I think like in a language learning classroom, the people who just tend to have more extroverted personalities and speak more can kind of create this effect. And it's not really their fault, or I guess my fault, because I would be in this category as well. But I noticed within a classroom, like 101, whoever just happens to be just naturally more talkative of a person will end up being the person who kind of improves the most over time with speaking. And as you go into every progressive class after that, like 101 to 102 to 103, the people who aren't speaking, it becomes harder for them to speak, because the people who've been speaking this whole time kind of continually improve in speaking. And it only makes them feel worse about their speaking and makes it awkward to begin speaking. And so it's not really the Dunning-Kruger effect. But have you ever experienced anything like that with your own personal experience with,
なんかね、
like English classes?
ちょっと、なんだろう。まあ似てるっちゃ似てるんだけどさ、その今さ、ローテーションしてるじゃん。で、まあ私たち学生です。で、まあ周り、レジデンツがいるのね。研修医がいますと、レジデンツ。で、その上に普通のドクターズがいるわけ。もう何年もやってる。でさ、なんだろう。そのレジデンツっていうのはもうちょうど、まあ卒業して、ちょうど医者になったばっかりの人たちで、まあ1年2年やってると。で、その人たちがさ、なんていうの、結構、まあテキパキできる人がいるのよ。もう患者さんにさ、もう薬も投与したりとかね、もうトリートメントしてるわけよ。なんだろう。なんて言うんだろうね。診察も自分たちでしたり。だけど、スチューデンツね、学生たちってさ、まあ、何もやったことないからさ、ずっと、なんていうの、机の上で勉強して、初めてやるから何もわからないし、患者さんに対して何もさ、責任が取れないわけよ。できないしね。でも、その近くでレジデンツがさ、そうやってるところ見るとさ、 なんか自分たちがすんごく、なんて言うんだろうね、ユースレスに感じるし、あと、そうなんていうの、まあ私はあと1年、2年でさ、ああなるわけじゃん。で、自分がああなれるか、本当にわかんない不安っていうのは、もうずーっと感じてきてる。もう昨日もちょうど感じてきてて。で、それってやっぱ似てるかなっていう。なんか近くにできる人がさ、いると、自分の無力さっていうのはすごい感じる。まあ似てるっちゃ似てるよ
I,
ね。
I definitely think this also resembles like social media, where you see people with all these edited photos and things like that,
ああ、
and it
確
gives
か
you a
にね。
skewed
うんうんう
perception as
ん。
to what kind of reality looks like.
う
And
ん、
the
その
worst
後ろ
part
には
is,
何かあるしね。うん。
yeah, is that the people who are the least affected like this are people who I feel like are the least self-reflective, the least critical, and the least like attentive to detail. You know what I'm saying? The people who are just like blissfully in their own ignorance are the people who get the confidence for a lot of situations to just be like, no, I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care if I can see everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? All these other very experienced people. It's like this almost blind sense of confidence gets rewarded in many situations.
うん。
I mean, sometimes that's good. Like I said, I think for speaking and languages, that sort of like complete contentness with being terrible initially
うん。
can be very beneficial. Um, like
な
I
んだ
remember
ろう
when I was
ね。
starting Japanese, I never, I mean, and like aside from the podcast, when I'm trying to get better just to make it more listenable, I've never really thought too much about
うん。
or caring about sounding perfect when speaking Japanese. Um, and because of that, I feel like it's given me a lot of opportunities to speak with people, um, as well as improve my Japanese. Whereas, like, I know a lot of people personally who definitely feel they have a lot of apprehension to speaking
うん。
Japanese. And sometimes I feel like being dumb or content, not being aware of how bad you are, can be a very good thing. But yeah, thanks so much, Sheep Thief. And I mean, we have I mean, this is this is written by somebody else, like I think a fellow American, but he wrote a comment in Japanese, and he wrote a longer comment, and same with Shockox. But given that we only have so much time, I wanted to cover this thing. So, Amy, can you read? This is a comment from Trevor.
はい、Trevor。はい、質問コーナーをいただきましたと。最後の食事だったら何を食べますか？ジョイさんとあやみさんの食生活とか、好物とかはあまり聞いたことがないし、ちょっと気になっていますと。あ、そんなに気になるもんなのかね。
Yeah, wasn't so. If for your, I guess in English would be the last meal. If you were to have, I
最
guess
後。
if you were to, I have some thoughts, but have you ever thought about
何その地球がなくなる最後の日？
Well, for me, it totally depends on how I'm going out. But sure, let's say scenario one is a meteor's crashing, like a giant meteor's crashing into the earth, and you can have whatever meal you want, and where would you be eating it to? That's what I'm. To me, that kind of makes everything. It's like the full context I need to know.
何そのメディア
Yeah. What's it called? 水石でしたっけ？
あ、彗星彗星ってメディアって言うんだね。
水星。Yeah, 水星。
クラッシュする前でしょ。なんだろう。まあ、とりあえず普段食べないようなさ、ハイカロリーなものだよね。なんて言うんだろう。めちゃめちゃ体に悪そうな、なんていうの。もう、グリーシーは私、脂っこいの好きじゃないから、なんだけど、なんて言うんだろうね。ステーキとか、まあ、ハンバーガーが、まあ、ミーリーな感じのやつのハンバーガーとか、ステーキが食べたい。
I mean that's good. For me, my personal experience, it's totally dependent on how we're going out. And what I will say is, I think to give the most honest answer to this question, I have to think back to the times that I've wanted specific food so bad. And the main time I think about it is when, and I may have mentioned this once before, but there used to be a time where during the summers I would go to a friend's cabin in California, which has like no electricity, no hot water, no running, like basically everything you kind of had to do old-fashioned style. And we'd be there like towards the end of 2 weeks, and it'd be like a hot day, and we'd go on a very long hike. And I would remember sitting like on a rock and just being almost like, what would you call, not delusional, but like almost to the point of hallucinating, And I'd just be like, dude, imagine if like those rocks opened up and there was a hot spring, and right beside the hot spring there were beautiful fruit smoothies just sitting there as you're like in this hot weather just eating and I know it doesn't make sense because it's hot, but why would you want to get in hot water? Just feel with me. Oh no, I think what it was is because it's hot outside but the water's cold, and so I'm like, and I love hot water, so I just imagine my head getting the hot spring, having this like fruit smoothie beside me, and just drinking it. And because of that, and that's happened to me multiple times, like the amount of times like I really just crave the same thing with water. Like I've never craved anything more than I crave like a beverage when I'm thirsty. And so I feel like if I wanted to have the most like enjoyable experience, it would require that I'm like, it's really, really hot. Assuming it's not really hot, like, and like we're talking about a food, what would it be? Like I don't think I specifically crave. I mean, there's a lot of food I like. Like I love American tacos. It doesn't mean I don't like actual Mexican tacos, but like I also love American style tacos. Just saying. But I don't think I've ever had the same level of craving for something than I've had. Oh, other than like obviously cheese when I was in Japan, that was really bad. I really wanted cheese. Yeah, so even though taberu was the question, I definitely feel like out of my personal experience, beverages. Like I have another like I think a memory in my head that I've talked about before, which is when I was running. And it was like 6 a.m. in Biwako, which is a lake, like 2 hours away or an hour off of Kyoto, and I was staying there for an event, and I just remember being so like blissful. Like there was a lake beside me on one side. It was extremely quiet except for the sound of cicadas, and on the left side of me there was like a Princess Mononoke-esque forest and there were probably monkeys in the forest too, and there's cicadas, and then also I was running on a path where these shop tenders would open up and like start wiping the what's called brooming off the fronts of their stores in the morning. So I just remember running there as they go like Ohayo, and it was like that was like one of the most peaceful times in existence. And if there have ever been individual days where I'd have been fine with dying, that would be one of them. I was like in full. I felt like everything was in its place correctly. I would have loved a smoothie though. With that said, the only thing that made that better is if I stopped reading and had a smoothie. So
場所による、場所とシチュエーションによる最後の食事の。
Oh, so what is yours? What would be your ideal?
なんだろう。もしすんごいお腹空いてて、それがさ、富士山のてっぺんとかだったらさ、塩おにぎりとかがなんかいいんじゃない？
Hold up. Is it like normally Fujisan with like all the tourists there? Because that would be not the last thing I would not.
違う誰もいなくて。いやなんか疲れるじゃん。疲れた後に、まあ、富士山じゃなくてもいいけど、登山のどこの山でもいいけどさ、疲れました。で、もう本当に素晴らしい景色、まあ朝日とか見て、何がいいかっていうと、で、そうするとさ、やっぱりシンプルなものがいいよね。もうご飯と塩だけみたいな。それで幸せを感じるんだったらもうそれがラストミールでもいい。なんかドーパミンがどれくらい出るかによる。
That's like a Buddha example where you're like, I only need rice and salt.
藁の何か開いて、塩結びだけみたいな。そう。
Yeah. 何もいらん。But yeah, you know, I do like food. It sounds weird, but I just I've never felt like I've wanted something as much as I've wanted beverages. So it's kind of literally every time I even think about it, right now I'm thinking about another time as well. But dude, water's the best. I don't know what to tell you. It's like incredible. It's both the thing that is free and most available, but also the best. Like what kind of not karmic justice, but that's like a gift from the gods. Imagine if water tasted like piss. Like that reality would be so depressing. I mean, for some people it does.
何も味しないのがいいんだね。確かにね。飽きることないしね。
Yeah, it's the Buddha answer. Why do you want more than water? But yeah, thanks for the questions. That bell means we've reached the end of today's episode. Thanks for joining us in another lazy conversation towards fluency. If you have any language-related questions and are just looking for general advice, send an email to lazyfluency@gmail.com, and we might respond in the next episode. Also, make sure to check out our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more. We'd appreciate the support. This has been Joey.
And Yummy.
Signing off. じゃあねー。I thought you were going to be Kumamoto Ayami or something.